other related matters, we have our correspondent, Ugonne Onwalo, in the studio to bring us current updates around the closure of the Enugu State Airport. Good morning, Ugonne. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Chigi, for having me.
Absolutely. Now, let's just dive into the subject matter. What's the official reason given by, FAN for the impromptu shutdown of Enugu State Airport? Because we learned that people just started getting SMS. There was no prior, information. So what was their reason for this impromptu shutdown?
According to the report I gathered, they said that they want to repair the runway.
The wrong way?
Yeah. So because they want to repair the runway, they had to shut down movement of flight.
Okay.
And thereby keeping passengers stranded. Getting to the airport this morning, we saw people still coming into the airport to fly. And when I spoke with them, they said that
they had no idea.
They had no idea. Some got the information, majority didn't get the information. So they were stranded, they were moving up and down. And
so it was as though they didn't have a particular official to talk to. They didn't even know who to talk to.
They didn't know who to talk to, because anyone you want to talk to will tell you, talk to my boss. Who is your boss? They were not telling us who is their boss, and they are not telling the passengers who to talk to. So they were all sitting there, just looking.
The staff were on ground, but they were not talking.
Yes.
Were you able to speak to were there any maybe fan official or anybody, any Oga that you guys could, interface with?
We saw some staff, but they said I should write to their boss or go to meet their boss before they can grant me interview. And I'm like, who is your boss? They don't even talk. So seeing some of the fan of staff and the official, they were not talking. They were not willing to talk.
Now, you know that you're not supposed to park your cars overnight at the airport. So what we are seeing now are cars of passengers who were supposed to take a flight on that very day.
Yes.
And they couldn't take any flight, and nobody was saying anything to them. What other interesting thing were you able to discover, on your visit to the airport?
Nothing much, just seeing people.
Because this usually is a hub of activity.
Yes.
Yes.
And they were trying to talk to the officials to know if they can refund them their money. And if they can't refund them their money, what arrangements are they making for them to either take them to where they said they are going to, or give them the money they paid for? But they were not getting any response in regards to that. So they are just being kept just like that.
Did you grasp any side of workers or construction people, or maybe equipment? I know the runway is all the way over to the other side of the the departure and the arrival lounges, but was there any inkling as to whether there was work activity going on the runway?
Actually, we tried to get to the runway, but because of the rules and regulations, they said they gave them, so they couldn't allow the media get into the runway to see actually what it is that they are doing.
What they are doing.
Yes.
Okay. Were you able to interface with any security agent? Because I'm sure emotions were already flying, and you wouldn't know what certain people who don't have a good grasp of their emotion could do. So were there security officials on site, and were you able to interface with them?
The security officials are there as of the time we left, and they were trying to calm everything, they're making sure that people don't get violent or get angry emotionally or anything. So the security officials are on ground just to calm people down, make sure that there's no fight or any misunderstanding between the passengers and the staff.
So there was nothing to show that there's any maintenance going on.
Nothing to show.
Okay, so and passengers weren't being redirected. So what were they really doing? They would just wait and go home? Were people threatening? Were there side talks? Were there things you were able to get from the passengers?
Yes, actually. A particular man said that, off camera though, he said that this thing they are doing shouldn't be like that, that this is something that they should have done earlier. Why would they just, they should have given a prior notice so that people that want to travel will just wait instead of taking their money.
And they ought, from my own point perspective, probably shut down their online platform so people don't book ahead of time.
Exactly. So you don't just open up everything and people are giving you money that you know that later you will still tell them that you have a mind to shut down the runway, and after everything you tell them that the runway has been shut down, there's no movement and all that, just like that, without just bring a statement and just tell them that you are not flying again.
Aside the fact that the staff weren't actually forthcoming with, telling you who the boss was so that you could go intervene, what was their, their position? Did they feel any form of remorse as to what was happening?
Yeah, officially.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
they did, even though they weren't talking,
Yes,
because some of them, officially, they put themselves in the shoes of the passengers.
Okay.
So they were remorseful and trying to calm everybody down to make sure that the situation is handled properly.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Ugone Onwalo, our signature television correspondent, bringing us updates on the happenings around the closure, impromptu closure of the Enugu State Airport. Do stay tuned for more content.